Hello, and welcome to Bear Necessities. My name is Bear, and today I want to give a spotlight to one of the best classes in Pantheon, the Shaman. I will say to keep in mind that I've only leveled to my mid-teens on Shaman, so I'm sure there are some awesome spells that they get after this point, but I think I have a decent idea of their playstyle. So first things first, Shamans are a traditional class in terms of resources in Pantheon. The only resources you have to worry about are your HP and mana. Shamans are at their core healers, but they also do decent damage and have a ton of utility in their debuffs, buffs, and resurrection spells. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into it. We will start with their heals. Shaman heals are primarily heal over time spells, or HOTS. At level 1, you get your first single target heal over time spell called Mantle, and this gets upgraded as you level through multiple other spells. Shamans also get a channeled heal over time spell called Replenish that literally drains mana to heal over time quicker. I feel like the spell is pretty weak as time goes on because you get much more powerful heals. Shamans also get a group heal over time spell called Echo of the Rainlands. And finally, Shamans get a heal over time spell for free that you get as you level Restoration up at level 15 called Soothing Waters, which is a small heal over time spell, but it is free. Heal over time spells in general are great, and if your tank is well geared, you should be fine just keeping those rolling to keep them up. But your spike healing is pretty weak until level 10, when you get an insane ability called Hurry the Past. Hurry the Past will essentially take all of your healing over time abilities and finish them immediately, essentially applying the entire hot to your targets at once. This doesn't just apply to Mantle, it also works on your group heal. So you can think of a lot of different scenarios where this could be good. For example, if your tank is taking spike damage, of course you can heal them up really quickly. If maybe your tank and your puller are taking damage, you can actually put 2 hots on each of them and then hit this if they take spike. Or if your entire group is taking a lot of damage, you can also just cast a group heal and you can hurry the past and spike heal them all back to full. Alright, next let's move on to damage abilities and debuffs. Shamans get a few direct damage spells. Serpent Strike and Fanged Bite do instant damage and cost nothing. These scale off Wisdom and Dexterity. Fanged Bite has the added effect of making your next Fanged spell cost 0 mana. Your Fanged spell line is just a single target nature damage. Keep in mind this spell does 50% more damage if the target is poisoned, which brings me to the other Shaman damage spells. Shamans get 3 damage over time abilities, a poison dot, a fire dot, and a nature dot. These each do a decent amount of damage over the full duration and whittle down targets. A decent damage rotation will be something like the following. Hit your Fang Bite into Serpent Strike, your 3 dots, your Fang spell, and then Serpent Strike and Fang spell on cooldown. Oh, and let's not forget your dog pet. This pet scales pretty poorly over time, but it is essentially an extra damage over time ability for Shamans. Your pet does not level alongside you, and I'm not sure if this is a bug or not, but as I level, I feel like I use it less and less. Oh, and I should mention, Shamans do get a free spell that increases their mana by 20% while weakening them. This spell is on a 1.5 minute cooldown, but is insane for sustaining while grinding. In terms of debuffs, Shamans do get a slow ability line called Fog that reduces action speed by 25%, and an armor debuff called Weathering that decreases the mob's AC by 25%. Finally, let's talk about their buffs and utilities. Shamans get 4 big group spell buffs that everyone wants. First, the grip line of spells increases strength and stamina. The mark spell line increases dex and fire resist. The Wind Strider buff increases endurance and sprint speed. And the Sky Main's pack spell increases attack speed. On top of that, you do get a self-wisdom buff called Beginner's Hunch that scales with Constitution, and a short duration strength buff for free called Ancient Strength. This is kind of like Yelp from EverQuest. In terms of utility, Shamans do get a resurrection line similar to Clerics called Paradox, but I don't think it gets the highest amount of experience return like Clerics do. Shamans also get a spell called Forced like other casters, which does add an opening gap to the target. And finally, they get a Poison Cure. Walk the Ages is also an interesting spell. It saves your location for 30 seconds, then allows you to press the button again to warp back to it. This seems pretty weird, but it's also really nice for pulling, and it seems like it would be a menace in PvP to peel targets away, then port back to your group. In general, I think Shaman is an outstanding class in groups and in solo content. In groups, their buffs, debuffs, and heals really bring a lot to the table, and while soloing, their damage over time abilities and sustain help them go quickly from mob to mob without a lot of downtime. If you haven't given Shaman a try, please make sure to try them out in Pantheon. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.